Hello, and welcome to episode 48 of Friends of the Show. I am Stephen W. Skinner, and this is a podcast where I get to know some of the funniest and nicest folks from the internet. They are the friends of the show. This week's friend is the SpaceGirl Incognito herself at I Am SpaceGirl. Truly beloved within our Twitter joke community, and if you don't know, you're about to find out why. It was so much fun talking to Sky, and she was also very gracious about me sleeping through our scheduled recording time. Very cool, Sky. And apologies for my just woke up yawn voice. Be sure to follow at FOTS Pod on Twitter. Now grab your nearest animal friend. It's Friends of the Show, episode 48, with I Am SpaceGirl.
We often confuse what we wish for with what is, from Mirrormask.
Mirrormask. I'm not familiar with that. Can you tell me more about it?
Yeah, it was written by Neil Gaiman, and it was animated by Dave McKean. It's some animation, very like old school animation, but might not fly with today's standards.
Old school animation. Well, thank you very much for the quote, and welcome to the podcast, Sky.
Hi, thanks for having me.
All right. And your cat. Yeah, we're making a guest appear. So, for the listeners, I am very excited to talk to our guest this week. Truly one of the funniest and nicest people online and in real life. Some of the most hilarious tweets of all time, and everyone loves this person because of how nice and great they are. So I'm very happy to welcome to the show, Sky, AKA SpaceGirl Incognito.
How am I even supposed to say anything now? That's such a high standard.
Well, thank you very much and welcome. So yeah, let's get into it. Let's get to know you. Tell us about yourself. Where are you from? What you up to? What are your interests? Tell us about the cats.
Oh, the cats are, well, one is a recluse and the other one is in my face all the time, so you'll hear her. But yeah, I am mostly originally from South Jersey, and now I live in North Carolina, and I work in an automotive shop, and I have kids and whatnot.
Kids and whatnot. You know, when you're planning your life, you always want to have kids and whatnot.
And the whatnot.
The whatnot is important.
Yeah.
So you sticking on the East Coast? That's pretty good. So Jersey, what was that like? What exit?
People always ask me that. I don't even remember anymore. I moved around a lot as a kid. I went to a lot of different schools and lived in a lot of different towns in Jersey.
Okay, so a bit of a nomadic lifestyle at the beginning growing up?
Yeah.
The thing where you always had to show up to a new school and make new friends real quick?
Or just not, one or the other. Yeah.
Then you moved to the Carolinas?
I did. On a whim, kind of. I was in school in Jersey and stuff, but I was living with family and they kind of drove me a little crazy, and I had an opportunity to go somewhere new, and I just kind of jumped on it without knowing what it was going to be like.
And what is it like? I always wonder about the Carolina lifestyle.
I didn't have any real sense of it when it was, put up for an option. I had kind of an image of what I realize now is like maybe Kentucky backwoods. You know what I mean? In my head, like it was very, I don't know what I was expecting, but I really like it. You've got a mix of like weird rural farmland and beach towns with universities scattered throughout. It's a really interesting vibe.
That is interesting. Yeah, I sort of only know the Myrtle Beach area.
Yeah, that's South Carolina. I have not actually ever been to Myrtle Beach.
But, yeah, that's the only sort of Carolinas thing that I know. The beach shops, some golfing.
See, that is more in line with my experience now, but I realized that when I lived in Jersey, I just had no concept of any, like, southern states at all, really. Like, it was all one idea,
Yeah, I don't really know the southern South states. Like, been to Florida, but never like the Alabama, Arkansas, or
I've never been that way myself.
Like
either.
you're saying the Kentucky, you've never been down there.
No, I've never. I still don't even know what I'm talking about ever.
Well, I'm not even from the country, so for me it's a little bit forgivable.
Yeah, exactly. I'm a scatterbrain, so that's my excuse.
Well, that's pretty good. So, what are your interests out there? What are you doing in the Carolinas?
I mean, I started writing comedy online. That was one of my interests.
Oh, yeah, and that's what got you on the show today.
Got me hooked on the website. And spent a lot of time there over the last few years, honestly. So
building a brand of powerful online presence.
Quite a ride. But I like music. I've been a singer my whole life, and I have tried to learn to teach myself to play some instruments. I'm not very good at any of them, but I like to do that.
What's your go-to instrument now? Can you play guitar or more piano?
No, I wish, oh my gosh, do I ever wish that I played piano, and I'd really like to learn still, but no, I screw around on a ukulele, and my husband just got me a bass guitar, so I'm learning that now.
Oh, bass. Yeah, that's how I started into the guitar arts.
Huge. It's like very unwieldy, much different from the tiny thing.
Is different, and it's more of like a rhythm-y kind of thing.
Yeah, which I need help in, really. I'm not very rhythmic, and but I think this will help.
Yeah, the bass will definitely help, because it's sort of like part of the rhythm of the song. You go boom 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 boom.
Yeah, I like the way they feel. They're very good vibrations and all that. Yeah,
really cool. And when you get a cool riff, when you like learn one of those epic like bass riffs or whatever.
That's good.
That's a good one. Or the ABC. That one from that was a good one. And you just play that again and again.
Yeah.
Yeah, those ones are fun, and they always impress people. You can just do it in like the guitar store.
Yeah, the part I'm looking forward to. I want to impress some people. I don't know if I'll get there.
Yeah, when you're up to like a 5-string fretless bass, and you're playing Mingus or whatever, and Tool. Well, that's very interesting. So, what are some of your musical influences? Let's talk about that. What music you into?
That answer has changed a lot in the last year or so. Actually, Spotify really changed how I was able to find music that I like. So I've actually learned a lot about what I liked in the last couple of years.
That is good. Yeah, I enjoy Spotify as well for their discover. The algorithm is strong.
Yeah, and I have to credit. I've made some cool friends who have good taste in music on Twitter. Actually, all the good, cool people there, you included, but lots of different musical tastes that come together. And I learned a lot about music from especially like Will and Tom.
Will and Tom, and they've done their own musical threads. You people can go and check them out. Trojan Sauce and Upside Down Trash is who we're talking about. And on their episode, I think both of their episodes, we talked about music and what kind of music they're into. They did those long threads that are also Spotify playlists, and that's very, very cool. So, you can check out new songs. Actually, I was just, I heard a song the other day, and I was like, oh, man, I wonder if Tom knows about this. And I DM'd him the song. He's like, mate, I love that album or whatever. I was like, oh, he already knew. He already knew.
Yeah, you can. It's hard to sneak a new one in on them. That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm a dork. I really had no knowledge of music that was current or like anything outside of like. I was trained in opera and musical theater, so like I was a huge theater geek, and like I really didn't know any cool music other than what like my mom listened to, like cool 70s like festival jams, Janis Joplin and stuff like that. So like, but my experience in music was really limited. So it's been nice.
That's pretty cool. So you're all operatic? Can you hit all those? Can you break a glass and everything?
God, no, not anymore. I really only did opera for a couple years when I was really young, like 7, 8, 9, and then I started veering into musical theater.
Okay, so what are some of your favorite musical theater? Have you seen Hamilton? I've heard that it is good.
Oh, I really shouldn't have steered myself this way because I should have seen Hamilton and I have not. I've heard a lot of the soundtrack via my friend, but I have not seen it. I get almost no chances to see actual like live stage shows anymore.
Right, I guess that would be, you'd have to go. I know it's touring now, but it was in New York for a long time, right? So
yeah. So no, not Hamilton. I really like, Stephen Sondheim. I really like Into the Woods is one of my favorites. I haven't seen the movie adaptation because I'm too scared.
Oh, you don't want it to ruin your thing?
Yeah.
Ruin your impression of it?
Yeah, I like a lot of Jason Robert Brown, and of course I like weird off-the-wall musicals like Little Shop of Horrors is one of my, I have a big spot in my heart for Little Shop of Horrors.
Little Shop of Horrors is great. Shout out Rick Moranis, Steve Martin.
God, such a good, yeah.
All right, very good. I think that gives us a nice little background about you, so beautiful. Thank you. Now we'll get into your story. And the story is titled Senior Year Anatomy Lab.
Yeah. This is like, I realize now this is sort of a weird story to choose to tell about myself, but it's because I've actually never told it myself. My best friend always tells it, and this is the story that she chooses to pull out whenever I introduce her to new people.
Okay.
So I don't know. I guess I'm trusting her judgment, but we've been best friends since 7th grade, and senior year, I was always kind of more of like this since I moved a lot, and then I kind of like finally settled in one school, and I was kind of like a weird skater kid in like a really preppy, like wealthy school. So it's kind of like a weirdo, and they thought I was way cooler than I was. And so I got to kind of coast on that reputation. And she was always the more like preppy, goody two-shoes, squeamish one. But we get to like senior year, and I wanted to take something hippie, crunchy granola, like about planets or rocks or something, and I ended up having to take anatomy. And she was my anatomy lab partner, my best friend, and I was not happy, to say the least. I did not want to be in that class. I immediately, from day one, when they told us we'd be dissecting, I was really upset. I started with the petitions about how dissecting isn't necessary. And all that. And lo and behold, my best friend is way, like my squeamish up until this class best friend is super into dissecting to like a weird point. Like I was really concerned about, the way our roles had reversed and her weird interest in dissecting dead bodies. But anyway, like we get through, I didn't have to do it. I could sit there and watch her do it as long as I took notes because I did all the petitioning.
Oh, yeah.
And we got through, frogs, birds, whatever they have you do, like a eyeball and like a heart or whatever. So like...
So how many things are you dissecting? I was like, this class has got to be like...
throughout the course of the year, right? So like... We get to the end of it, and our teacher, Miss Mastel, walks in, and she was this tiny woman. Like, I'm short. I'm not even 5 feet tall. This woman, like, came eyeball height with me. Like, the top of her head was, like, with my eyeballs. She was tiny, and she had, like, a hunch, and she was awesome. Everybody really loved her, and she, like, skittered around in this little lab coat, and she was the best. But she came in one day and looked me dead in the eye and was like, you're not going to be happy with what we're doing tomorrow, but I'm very excited. And... And she brought in these like big plastic bags full of like dead cats. And I was really, really unhappy.
That would be upsetting to see, right?
Really, really upsetting. And I was still like, I don't agree with this at all. But then like, she told us for some reason, and I still don't know whether I believe this, but she told us that they were diseased cats from Mexico that were dying of natural causes. And I really think that was just to sort of placate me.
Right. Yeah. I guess.
Anyway.
Yeah. Like where's your dead cat hookup? Who's your dead cat guy?
Who's your dead cat guy? Right.
Jeez.
Trench coat on the corner. Like you open up the coat.
Like a bag of dead cats, just like walking desk to desk, like plopping a dead cat in front of a group.
Awful. And they were, they didn't have hair. They were like, so they looked kind of, like chickens or whatever. I don't know. It was bad. It was upsetting. But anyway, my friend is way psyched. And we start opening them up or whatever. This is like over the course of the week, we open them up. And like, unfortunately, this is a really like weird story to tell you right off the bat. I'm so sorry. But we get into the kitties and like some of them had babies inside. No. And like our teacher freaks out. She's so excited about it. And she like runs to get jars of formaldehyde. She cannot get over how many specimens she's going to have of these. And like, I'm so upset and disturbed by this that like, as she's out of the room, like she couldn't have been gone very long, but I just like made a decision and I walked around to every table and asked everybody to give me their little cat fetuses if they had any. And like everybody did. So like I got back to my table with like a paper towel filled with like 11 little teeny, really cute little tiny bodies. And like Allison is like, my best friend is like, what are you doing? So I like wrapped them all. I was like, I don't know. I wrapped them all up in paper towels and I took my lunch out of my lunch bag and I put them in my lunch bag.
What? This story just got wild.
And so Miss Maxwell comes back in, and when she realizes that they're all gone, she starts freaking out and she starts threatening the whole class with detention. And it's our senior year and it's like getting toward the end of the year too. So like we're just trying to make it out, you know what I mean? So nobody really has time for this nonsense, but nobody told on me and I really appreciate my class for that.
Holy cow, what? Wow.
Like, I can't believe nobody told on me. So we leave, and, like, at lunch, Allison is like, do you still have them with you? And I'm like, yeah, of course. What am I going to do with them? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. She's like, I don't understand what your plan is. But, like, I got through the whole day, and I took them home, and I buried each one in a little teeny grave at my parents' house. So there's, like, probably, they don't live there anymore, but there's probably tiny kitten ghosts haunting that house.
Oh,
whoever lives there.
That would be the cutest haunting.
Right?
Yeah.
So I bless them with kitten ghosts.
Well, Sky, that was a very interesting story. It's very nice that you gave them proper burial. And,
I don't know why that was so like.
It was important that the evil science teacher didn't get them.
But she was weirdly. I just didn't like the idea of them being in jars. I don't know.
Yeah, they would have been in jars forever for people to ogle for science students and her to ogle, but not on your watch.
I'm here to cause trouble in the anatomy lab.
Well, I'm sure the ghosts of those kittens thank you.
Maybe.
All right. Well, thank you for that interesting and fun story. And now let's get into talking Twitter. Bum, bum, bum. So it says here that you have been on Twitter since October 2010.
Wow.
At a time. So just about.
Oh gosh.
In your eighth year.
That dormant. For 5 years, I did nothing with that thing.
That seems to be a common theme. A lot of people, they're like, what? Like, in 2009 I had it, but I didn't use it until 2012. Yeah, so a lot of people don't, or they got on and, like, sent one tweet and then didn't use it again until, like, 2015. Is that the same that you're saying?
One tweet full of hashtags, like 15 hashtags, because you don't know what you're doing, and you're like, we use hashtags on this site, right?
Yeah, that's what I like to know. What were you doing in 2010? Was it replying to people? Was it hashtags? Was it like Facebook status style updates, like having lunch?
Having lunch, doing the lunch.
Hashtag cheese.
Yeah, that's a good lunch right there.
Great hashtag too.
Yeah, it is. I think I was probably, I made a bunch of social media accounts at the same time, like when I discovered internet, sort of. I was always behind everything. And,
okay, just one day you're walking around like, internet, eh?
I mean, like, I didn't have a smartphone for a really, like, I really, stubbornly held on to my little brick Nokia, like with prepay minutes until Like that just, I really just.
I know people who've done that too, and it is odd, sort of like when you want to like cling to the past a little bit, just because it's familiar.
Culture of cell phone era, and my little brother bought me a smartphone. and was like, for God's sake, Skylar.
Yeah, enough with your T9.
So I made all these social media accounts that one makes when one gets a smartphone, and one of those was Twitter. And as far as I knew, that was where you told people what you had for lunch, basically exactly like Facebook, but less characters. So it didn't really interest me.
Yeah, okay, that's exactly sort of the idea that I had also. I'm like, well, we already have Facebook status updates. Why would you need a website that's just Facebook status updates?
But like less.
Yeah, yeah. So how did you choose your handle? You said you got it across all... Were you the same brand across all media?
Yeah, I mean, I have been using SpaceGirl Incognito for a long time. I think it had a couple different dumb names before that, but then when I decided I was going to try hashtag wars or whatever, I started trying when I first found comedy Twitter. I wanted Space Girl, and there is somebody who has Space Girl who has no tweets and a locked account, no followers. I'm so mad at her. Yeah. Sure. So I was like, all right, well, I am Space Girl. There it is.
So is that what you had to do on the other medias? Like, so on one you're Space Girl, on another one you're I am Space Girl.
Yeah, and some of them are Space Girl Incognito, so it's just sort of scattery. There was no plan to make like a cohesive brand. I just happened to always sort of use that name. Hello, kitty. Hello.
Well, that's good that you were able to lock down the Space Girl Incognito handles across all the brands, all the media. So what was your first memorable interaction on Twitter? What do you remember from the early days?
My first memorable interactions, I used to @reply to Jess OK Fine and the Todd Williams and Timmy Toe.
Oh, my favorites.
And then that was when DMs were just first starting. So those guys I used to interact with a lot. And then I made a close friend group with, at the time it was I Eat Fruit, although now it's Butt Swords, or Butt Sword, I think. Him, Edgar Allan Lowe, Trojan Sauce, Too Many Toes, Upside Down Trash. And then, unfortunately, she's no longer around, although I assume she's alive somewhere. But Elizabeth, semi-automatic sloth. She was the funniest person.
Very funny tweets, yeah.
She is just, and not even just her timeline, like she was just one of the legitimately funniest people to chat with that I've ever known, and I miss her so much. That was my first really close friend group.
Nice. A lot of great folks mentioned in there, and a lot of friends of the show. So that's how you know they're great. Very cool. So what's the nicest thing that's happened? I guess making those friends is pretty nice.
It is. Gosh, the nicest thing that's happened. I think I really like getting messages from random people just telling me that I made them laugh and that they needed it. I think that's really the best thing that happens. That's the most that's the best feedback, is really just like, hey, this made me laugh and I needed to laugh, so thanks. I'm like, yeah.
That's the best. Yeah, I'll accept this message.
Yes, accepted. Thank you.
Very cool. And people who do send those messages, thank you. It is very nice.
So nice. I love that.
Don't be afraid to reach out.
Unless it's for weird stuff.
If it's bad, if it's bad, you know that you shouldn't.
Yeah, keep that business to yourself.
Yeah. All right, now, have you ever had any interesting or fun interactions with celebrities or brands? You ever interact with brands online?
I don't get a lot of brand interaction. I don't think I make brands enough of a priority in my own, like, I don't pay attention enough, and I
That's
wish,
good,
like,
yeah.
some of the brands are really fun to interact with, and I like looking at the interactions, but I've just never made that my thing.
Yeah, you're not like, hey, toaster strudel,
right?
get over here. Right.
Acknowledge me.
I got words for you. More.
Yeah.
I need more of the sweet, sugary goodness.
Oh my gosh. There's not enough frosting in those packs.
That's what I'm saying, yeah. Less air.
Yeah, we need like double packs, all right? There needs to be like Bounty has the choose a size paper towels.
Oh, yeah.
You need like choose a size. I don't know how that would work.
Or like double stuff icing. Yeah. Just two of those strips of icing bullets or whatever.
Bullets. Icing bullets. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, no, not a lot of brands. I have met some cool like celebrities. I think that's one of the coolest things about Twitter is it just like equalizes so that you have the opportunity to really get anybody's attention.
Yeah, you can yell into Shaq's pocket, as Matt O'Brien likes to say. Yeah, it's a good one. It's interesting how certain celebrities are involved online and you can talk to them.
So weird to me.
It's very strange.
It's been a very surreal experience.
So tell us, who are the big names that you've interacted with?
Well, Lin-Manuel Miranda, who wrote Hamilton,
who wrote Hamilton that you did not see.
I did not see it. I know. I love Moana though. Oh my god. He has interacted with me a bit. He gave me a shout out on his timeline, which I really appreciated, and I DM'd him to say thanks for that. And he's a super nice guy. That was pretty cool.
That is cool. Yeah, he's one of the real nice dudes, and very very good on Twitter. He's just doing the good work.
And the other guy, I guess it's just the same way, just super nice, down to earth, really really awesome guy is Mark Hoppus, and he's very funny as well. So it's cool.
Fellow bass player, right? Just us bass players just hanging out on Twitter. Boop boop boo.
Yeah.
That bass line in Josie though, you got to learn that one.
Oh my gosh, he has like a whole list for me now.
Oh, does he?
Like liner notes after this. You and said I have to learn these ones.
Yeah, that's a good one. That was one of the first ones that I learned. Yo, bling, ding, 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 jangly, those jangly bass riffs. I love those ones.
Awesome.
Got a couple more talking Twitter questions here. And who would be your dream follow back? That's somebody who you currently follow, who you'd love a follow back.
Oh man, that would be Umami Skeleton at Merman Melville. I think she is one of the funniest, weirdest brains I've ever gotten the pleasure of reading tweets out of, and I've been following her forever. And I don't think she's real active or anything, and we certainly don't run in any of the same circles, but I've always wanted to follow back.
There you go. Yeah, that's one of the big all-time accounts. Uh-huh. Very funny.
Yeah.
All right, now this last question comes to us. It is the ultimate dream follow back.
Are you serious right now?
Yeah. This is any fiction person's real or fictional, living or dead.
Oh my gosh, what?
It could be any person, real,
what am I doing with them?
Real or fictional, living or dead. Who would you want to follow you back on Twitter? You got to assume that this character is alive and on Twitter for this scenario.
But like any
person, real or fictional, living or dead.
Wow, gosh.
Covering all space and time, past, present, and future. No one said future person who hasn't been invented yet.
I do. I would. Any person from the future, even like the most unimportant person from the future would be better than anybody from the past. Much more useful.
Future people are incredibly cool, yeah.
So that's that. Yeah, I want any individual from the future, if you're listening, please follow me on Twitter and give me secrets.
It's like a person from the future.
Anyone.
Like, their account is like from Future Joe or something.
Yes, from at Future Dude 1.
Yeah, Future Dude was taken.
Yes.
That's a great answer. A future person. Really thinking outside the box. All right, so now we'll get into the tweets. So you have selected some tweets of your own, and they're great. Everyone should obviously be following at I Am SpaceGirl on Twitter for tweets like these and more. Others that are heard on the podcast. One of the most popular people whose tweets have appeared, been chosen by other people. So we should mention that. You got a lot of shout-outs in previous episodes, so everyone should be familiar with some of your tweets already. This first tweet we got here, I will read, and it is, the first rule of Don't Fight Club is let's talk about it. That is great. There's a lot of Fight Club tweets where you've got the first rule of Fight Club, very popular format or meme, but this is perfect.
I was really excited when it popped into my brain, honestly. It was one of those, I Googled it and Twitter searched it furious. I was like, someone's got to have thought of this fun little twist on that classic joke.
It's perfect. Don't Fight Club. Let's talk about it. It's just perfect.
It's good life advice.
I'm glad that you got excited about that. So, yeah, usually the best ones come to you fully formed, sort of, right? In your head as a full-fledged idea. So on June 18th, 2015, boom, 8:28 p.m., the light went on.
Oh, wow.
So, again, very great, very great tweet. So we got a couple more here. How about, do you want to be magician?
Are we going to do it back and forth?
Yeah, I can be the second thing. You could be you.
That'll be me. Traps wasp under a cup.
Magician ghost who haunts you. I appear and set down 2 more cups.
No.
I'm starting to shuffle them.
Yeah, I knew that one wouldn't read well, but
it doesn't read. So magician ghost who haunts you appears and puts down 2 more cups and starts to shuffle the cups. And there's a wasp under one of those cups.
Yeah. It's danger right there.
Yeah, I guess.
I really like that one. I like the image of that one.
The image is great. And you're like, no.
Oh, yeah, please. Not again.
Great stuff, yeah.
Yeah, Magician Ghost.
Magician Ghost is a great character. All right, we got one more here from SpaceGirl Incognito, and it is great. And the tweet is, pretending I'm a dragon. Not like outwardly, just for me.
That's just, yeah.
Dragons are in the news, and their energy. Dragon energy is in the news. And it's like Kanye Trump thing.
Oh, I've been off the Twitter.
You've been off Twitter. So Kanye's back on Twitter, and people are losing it because it's a bunch of kind of crazy stuff. And one of the things he tweeted is like, dragon energy. Like he's got dragon energy, or Trump has it. I don't know.
That doesn't sound good.
Yeah, it's a good time to not be on Twitter right now.
Sounds like it. I'm not sad to be missing that.
Yeah, it is a kind of a crazy time. All right, so those are great, and thank you for sharing those with us. And now we get into your picks from others, and you got a couple.
This was really hard, man. This would have been, like every hour, I was like, oh, but what about this 3? Oh, but what about this 3? Like, this was really hard.
This is hard, yeah. Selected from literally hundreds of tweets online, you have chosen some of these ones. All right, this first one is from Lay at Lay from Loihi. Am I saying that right?
I honestly don't know, but it sounds fine.
Lei from Loihi.
She'll know who she is.
You know who you are.
You know who you are.
All right. So the tweet that you've selected is this. Time is a human construct. I think. Or a malleable space fabric. Maybe. Zones are hulls begging to be breached. Like your mom. Probably. It's like a poem.
I know, I love it. Her style is so, she weirdly inserts modern ideas into these intelligent space poems. I don't know. I love her. I think she's awesome.
Yeah, she's really cool. She's got sort of an ethereal vibe, or all her stuff is really sort of spacey and interesting.
I love her, I really do.
Great use
She's
of
an
words.
awesome, nice person, too.
Nice person.
Yeah.
Great. Well, shout out to Lay. And now this next one is from Mouse on a Carousel at Carousel Mouse. And it is a back and forth between our 2 favorites, Apollo and Hermes. And Artemis, I guess. Okay, so Apollo says, I'll be the god of the sun. Hermes, okay, I'll take light. Apollo, I'm also light. Artemis, I'll take music. Apollo, no, I'm also music. That's me too.
Yes.
Those gods. Get
you
it.
greedy bastard.
Get it sorted. Yeah,
I
that
love
is a
it.
good one.
There are a couple people who have done several just really awesome like Greek mythology jokes, but that is like I freaking love that joke so much.
You gotta love a good Greek mythology joke. All right, and the final tweet that you have selected from others comes to us from Dr. Peanut at 9 Tired Bugs. And the tweet is, girls don't like boys. Girls like Googling bear facts and reading the third best one out loud, but saving the best two for a special occasion.
Now your laugh is making me laugh to the laugh at it.
So how'd you stumble upon this one?
I really like 9 Tired Bugs. She's had a lot of different handles over the last like year or so since I've been following her. But she does just really random like stream of consciousness type stuff like this that I really love. And this just really resonated with me. It felt very real enough that like I looked over my shoulder for cameras kind of, you know.
Yeah.
Like, it's really relatable. So I really like her.
That's a great one. And I was wondering if it was like the song, if it's supposed to be like that.
Yeah.
Girls don't like boys. Girls like Googling bear facts and reading the third best one out loud, but saving the best two for a special occasion.
Right. It starts out as a song parody, and then it tricks you into something even better than a song parody.
Yeah. Would love to know what the special occasions were that she's saving this for.
That's private, I'm sure.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you very much for picking those tweets. Everyone go check out those tweeters. And now we get into everyone's favorite part of the podcast. It's questions from Twitter. Bum, 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 bum. And I believe you have broken the record for most questions being asked. Dethroning the Todd Williams.
Oh, Todd, hand it over.
All right. And so we better get into it. The first question comes to us from Llama in a Tux at Llama in a Tux. And
Yay.
Yes. Would you rather have finger-sized legs or leg-sized fingers?
Oh, man. I mean, finger-sized legs, you basically just don't have legs. So it's like, do you want like 10 huge legs hanging off your hands or no legs? So I'm going to go with the finger-sized legs.
Finger-sized legs.
Plus, I could wear those Barbie heels.
So small, but so strong.
Oh, yeah. I like the idea of wearing the Barbie shoes, so I'm going to go with that.
So you got finger-sized legs jammed into those plastic Barbie shoes.
Yeah.
All right.
That's my look.
Well, thank you very much, Kevin, for your question. And the second question comes to us from friend of the show, Sarah Joy Shockey, at Sarah Joy Shockey, your one true love. And she asks, why are you so good and when others are so bad?
Oh, Sarah. I mean, like, I don't know. I only seem good, so maybe other people only seem bad.
Okay, very diplomatic, but maybe you seem extra good because others are so bad, as she puts it.
She's partial to me, I think. So.
I think so. But she's also great, we should say. Everyone go check out her episode, check out her podcast with Marty and Sarah Loves Wrestling.
Yes, it's so good. I didn't even like care about wrestling a little bit before I heard that podcast, and I love it. Like, I don't even have to watch the wrestling. I love to listen to them. They're the best.
Yeah, that's great. So everyone go definitely check that out. Endorsement from Sky herself. All right, so thank you, Sarah. And the next question comes to us from the aforementioned previous record holder for most questions asked at the show, the Todd Williams at the Todd Williams. And Todd has 3 questions for you. Let's take these one at a time.
Okay.
Number 1, who is your favorite online cat? Please speak loudly so Sumo can hear.
Yes. Hello, Sumo. You are obviously my most favorite cat that I know exclusively online.
Meow, Sumo. And I hope you enjoyed the meows earlier in the podcast.
Yes, that was for you.
Okay, and the second question from Todd. If you were on death row for murder, work with me here, he says, what would be your last meal?
Oh, I can't. I love food so much. This isn't fair. Can I request like a buffet? Can I get like Golden Corral?
I don't think that's how it works. I mean, I'm sure someone's tried that before.
I don't love Golden Corral specifically, but they have a lot of different options. So, like,
it's just the guards have you in your full shackles. You're at Golden Corral, just like hemming and hawing over like.
Yeah, I need to be fully satisfied before I can die.
Well, like yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Either like a pot roast with mashed potatoes, or like full seafood, giant plate of crab legs and shrimp.
Full seafood, giant crab legs and shrimp.
Yeah. Yep. I like the sea bugs.
You enjoy seafood.
I do, yeah.
Okay.
You seem really upset by that.
I am not a seafood enjoyer myself, but I'm trying to get onto the bandwagon slowly. Like there are certain things like salmon, like a good salmon. Perfect. Yeah. That's fine.
Yeah.
And like a non-offensive like fish, like a tilapia, something that doesn't really have much flavor. That's fine. Just boring. It's just boring, right? Like
so boring.
But I am not into crabs, lobster, or other sea bugs.
Sea bugs are the best. They're the best.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is.
You don't have to eat that then for your last meal.
Thank you.
I'll give you that gift.
Thank you. We're like, I'm sitting in my jail cell and they just bring me a huge plate of seafood. I'm like, I think there's been a mix-up.
No, I said I didn't have to eat that.
Like, oh no, Sky ordered this for you. She said you'd.
This is what you want, yeah.
Okay, and Todd's third and final question for you is, I would like to hear you sing a little song. Will you please? Please?
Oh my goodness. I hate to deny him a request since he has never denied me any weird Photoshop requests ever, but I'm really underprepared to sing a song. I owe you a song, Todd.
Oh, getting a rain check, Todd. You're getting a rain check. But I guess he knows about your vocal prowess, right? Your singing ability. I occasionally
will throw a little tiny mini song video up on Twitter here and there. They can be tracked down.
Yeah, everyone go track those down. All right, so Todd, you got one IOU.
Yes.
So pretty good. That's pretty good. Sorry, rest of the listeners. You'll never get to hear her sweet melodic voice unless you track it down online. All right, and the next question comes to us from our favorite question asker. I'm talking about Timmy at the Timmy Toes, the aforementioned, and he's got a couple of great questions for you. The first one. What was the last thing you ordered out of a paper catalog?
A paper catalog, dude. Probably like a Scholastic book fair type deal. Like probably some sort of 3D bookmark or, book with a necklace embedded into the front of it.
If it didn't have a gimmick, you were not ordering it.
Yeah, that's not for me. Unless it was Goosebumps, in which case all of them.
You did? Okay, you read all the Goosebumps?
Oh, yeah.
Did you see the Goosebumps movie?
I've seen all of the show, but I don't know. I don't know if I have seen the movie. Although my oldest daughter loves and has definitely watched all of it.
Oh yeah, the show was great. I mean, that was sort of more from our era growing up. But that the movie was new, right? It's like a modern.
I'm not sure.
It was like Jack
that
Black
I knew about it.
and.
Oh my gosh, no! I don't even know about this.
Yeah. It didn't. I don't think it blew anyone's minds.
But, maybe I just will forget I learned about it.
But I definitely recommend those Goosebumps books. They're actually kind of scary.
Yeah, they definitely creep me out. I just I wasn't very brave as a child, so I don't think that's any comment on how scary they are.
I guess that's true. Yeah. So there was the show Goosebumps, and then we also had the show Are You Afraid of the Dark? Did you get that show?
Oh my gosh, that show scared the bejesus out. I can still see that intro and freak out. Like that abandoned playground swing and whatnot. No, thank you. That show was so scary. I remember them all though.
Yeah, no, it was a great show.
It's a great show, yeah, it really is. I would watch them again now, but like at the time, oh man, nightmares.
They knew exactly how scary to make it to scare.
It was like Snick too on Snick. And it was like the whole vibe, Snick at night. You know, before Nick at night, which was also I loved to watch. Like I Love Lucy and Bewitched. Like that was my come down off of the scary Snick stuff.
Right? Yeah, that would be nice. Yeah, those super old sitcoms, the black and white ones, are incredibly comforting to watch for some reason.
Yeah.
It really brings you back into like
wind down from like the scary pool monster or whatever.
Yeah. You never want to go to bed after the ventriloquist
like,
dummy.
Oh God, I need some Dick Van Dyke in my life right now, or I can't sleep. So bring on some Bob Newhart or whatever.
All right, so it was Scholastic ordering a book out of a paper catalog. That's the answer to Timmy's first question, and Timmy's second question. It's a would you rather? Would you rather constantly have damp socks or get a milk mustache every time you take a sip of a beverage, no matter what it is, even if it's not milk?
Good Lord. What a weirdly terrible choice to have to make. Like, neither of those is life-threatening or anything, but both really unpleasant. Gosh, I drink a lot of water, and that seems like a lot of milk mustaches to deal with. So, like, I guess I'll have to take damp socks.
Oh, going with damp socks.
Me?
Going
like
against the grain. You don't mind damp socks?
Not as much as I think I would mind a milk mustache after every single thing I drank, no matter what it was.
Okay, all right, I get it. Damp socks, though.
I know. I don't. It's a really terrible choice to have to make.
It's a Sophie's choice, an awful Sophie's choice. All right. Well, thank you very much, Timmy, for those eye-opening questions. And let's keep this going. And the next question comes to us from a friend of the show, Rachel Mandick at Rachel_Mandick. And she asked, Sky, if you could make one major modification to the way the human body is designed, what would it be?
I love this question.
It's a great question.
Imagine all of the weird mutations that people should have. I personally, like part of me wants to lean toward like giant bug eyes. So like, I like all those different segments. But really, I think a shell or an exoskeleton would be the way to go. Maybe an exoskeleton. Although I like the idea of retreating into a shell and still having all the benefits of skin. So like a shell. I'm going to go with a shell.
Shell. Okay. Yeah, that'd be nice. If it was like snowing or whatever, you just like pop right in.
Yeah. That'd be great. And then you still have all the benefit of like soft, nice, like sensory skin,
Yeah.
I feel like an exoskeleton would cut down on like that nice sensory intake, but like a shell solves that problem.
All right. Well, thanks for talking it through. Now we know that's the real answer. All right. This next question comes to us from Rob Elliott at Rocky Momax. And he's got two questions for you. Number one, Sky, who is your blood brother and how much do you love him?
Rob is my blood brother, and I love him so much.
There you go, friend of the show, Rob Elliott. How did he know? All right, and his follow-up question: can I buy you Wawa and mail it and or drive it up, and Cam can carry you around on his back?
His toddler son, who probably could carry me around on his back. I demand in-person delivery from Rob. I will not accept Wawa through the mail, even though that really goes against my pledge to always accept Wawa anytime.
So drive it on up, and she will gladly accept it.
Get your butt over here. Are you tired?
I did stifle a yawn in the middle of that sentence, and it sounded really weird. Listeners, that's what happened.
On me before this.
I apologize that I woke up startled and immediately had to contact Sky to record this podcast. All right, thank you, Rob. And the next question comes to us from friend of the show, Billy, at YGreen on Twitter. And he asks, hello, Sky. I hope you're doing well. My question is, if you're stranded on an island, would you rather have only your companion be a bat or a snail? Your only companion, rather. A bat or a snail. That's what we're looking for.
Gonna pit my two favorites against one another. I think a bat would be far more useful than a snail in a deserted island type situation. Snail just seems impractical.
Yeah, you're right. And especially if the bat was your friend, you could be like,
right.
Patrick, go, and he would go and
Patrick, dude. Patrick is amazing. That just made me so happy, like in my heart. Patrick, oh my god.
Yeah, he'd be your friend. He could help you gather
catch fruit,
small fruits, or whatever. Yeah. Oh yeah, that'd be nice. All right, bat. Very good answer.
Actually, like that's sort of a dream scenario.
Although we should mention for the listeners, you do have a great affinity and fondness for bugs of all kind, especially snails. So don't think that it's because you don't like them.
Yeah, it's not a comment on how incredibly awesome snails are.
Yeah, it's just for this specific question.
Yeah.
So
dry climate seems bad for them.
Yeah, they would get sand all in their shell and stuff. They'd hate it. So thank you very much, Billy. Everyone go check out Why Green online. The next question comes to us from Wildebeest at Flash Ember.
Oh, yeah.
And he asks, Sky, Wildebeest here. Couple of questions for the newsletter. Number one, why do you think snails are cooler than wildebeests?
Oh, I never said that.
I was making an assumption.
I never said that. I love Flash Ember. He's also one of my earliest friends on the website. And I definitely think that, if anything, wildebeests and snails are equally cool.
Oh, very diplomatic. He has a couple more questions here. His second question, if a witch let you choose what place you would haunt forever, where and what would it be and why?
I'm haunting somewhere. Okay. Actually, yeah. There's this place called the Ritz Theater in Oakland, South Jersey, and I used to work there as a kid. I did shows there, and I ushered there, and I did the summer camp there, and I just spent a lot of good times there. And not only did I have happy memories there, but it's like super creepy and old, like theater, like just really good haunting grounds. You know what I mean? Like it has the right vibe.
Yes. That's pretty cool. Yeah, and there's probably already cool ghosts already there. So you could like have a sweet posse.
And you could do plays, like ghost plays.
Oh, yeah. Now you're talking.
Mm-hmm.
All right. That's great. And the final question from Beast is, what's your favorite classic English novel and why?
Oh, my goodness. Classic. And that's...
I don't know if he has a certain thing in mind here or not.
I don't know if he does. I'm trying to think if he might have anything particular in mind. But the only, like... classic literature I know from him specifically that we have references to is like The Highwayman, and that's a poem. So I'm going to say that my favorite classic English novel is probably Emma. I really like Emma a lot, and sadly I really started to like Emma because when I was a kid in the 90s I loved Clueless so much. And
okay.
My mom, when I came home and I was like, oh my God, I love this movie Clueless, my mom was in college at the time and handed me a copy of Emma and said, here, read this. That's what it's based on. And it's got good memories attached to it.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, when you like the modern version of a classic, it's great to go back and revisit that source material.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Well, great. All right. Thank you very much for those questions, Beast. And the next question comes to us from Brandon at Le Bear Girdle, friend of the show. And he asks, Sky, hello. If a bottle of ketchup and a bottle of mustard got into a fight, prison rules, who would win?
So what's prison rules? Is that like no rules?
I think it's, kind of no rules.
So no holds barred brawl.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm going to say mustard. Mustard is like, the bottle's usually a little smaller, but like it's a feisty condiment compared to ketchup. I just think ketchup is sort of bland. I don't think ketchup is going to do anything surprising.
Right. Ketchup is just...
It's a big guy.
Got the size, but not the... It doesn't have the fight.
Right. Yeah. I think mustard has something to live for.
Right. Mustard would pull some crazy shit. And ketchup would have no idea what hit it.
Slow and dumb.
All right. Well, thank you very much for your question, Brandon. And the next question comes to us from Jeff at Jeff WNI, and he asks, "Hi, Sky. What's your recipe to greatness?"
Oh, you gave him his accent. That's so nice of you.
Well, I think he has a Welsh one, right?
Oh, I don't know if I've actually ever heard him speak, but I know he's one of them from the other side, not from
across the pond, isn't he?
Right. Yeah. Yes. What was that? What is my recipe to greatness?
Recipe, yeah.
I think any great recipe is potato-based, so potatoes.
Okay. I was going to say, please inform me your answer in the form of a recipe. Like, take a dash of dreams, a cup of hope.
I'm going to say just a buttload of potatoes, and any way you want to prepare those is going to work for you.
Salt and pepper to season.
Yeah.
Bake for 20 minutes at 450.
There you go. Recipes from Steven.
Recipe. All right. Thank you very much, Jeff. And the next question comes to us from at OK, I'm Still Hungry.
Oh.
And he asks, he says, "Hey, Sky, what are your long-term plans for financial security? Have you been making bi-weekly contributions to a Roth IRA? How's your credit score? Thanks."
These are very personal questions. And I'm not prepared to give away that much information.
Not ready to divulge this financial information on a public podcast. Oh. And you know what? You got to respect it. So,
I mean, yeah.
Thank you for your questions. Unfortunately, they will not be answered today. All right. The next question comes to us from Mayor P, friendly neighborhood mayor at Pun Magnet. And he asks, "You've got a dinner date with God. Ooh. Now what are you going to wear? Assume budget is no limitation."
What do I wear to a dinner date with God?
Yeah.
I think it's offensive to wear anything to a dinner date with God.
Oh, I think, right? I mean, that is true.
You know, I mean, like, you go naked, right? I mean, that's the way I've supposedly made you.
Dang, I guess, yeah, that's the perfect answer, because if you show up wearing anything,
it's offensive.
It's an offense.
Covering God's work or whatever.
It's like, yeah, thanks for designing this whole thing.
I'm draping it.
I'm going with a polo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's nothing that, could be justified.
Well, that's a good answer. Yeah. That's like the Indiana Jones picking the wooden cup. Like, oh, he knew. It's not the fancy cup.
No, the basest of material.
It was like all the other people who tried to go to a dinner date with God who just got smote because they wore clothes, and you show up naked, and it's like, this is the one.
I win. I'm the ugly
You win
gossip.
the Willy Wonka of God competition. You get to be the new God. Take over heaven.
Oh, that's how it works if you go to dinner naked with God.
That's how it works. He would have an amazing glass elevator thing or whatever.
Yes. Oh, man. That's the truth.
All right. Well, thank you very much for the question, Mayor. And the next question comes to us from friend of the show, Rads, at Feeling Euphoric. A fellow New Jersey pal, and she asks, "You stumble upon a magical, delicious donut. What flavor is this donut, and what slightly useless wish does it grant you? Also, how are you so brutiful and good?"
Brutiful. I like that word.
So, delicious,
well,
the donut, the wish-granting donut. Useless wish-granting donut.
Useless wish, okay. It would be a Boston cream donut. Those are my favorite. And it would let me grow my hair faster.
Okay, that's a good wish.
It is. I change my hair a lot. I really, really would love for it to grow faster.
So you can change it more often.
Even more. Yeah.
Nice. Well, what's your hair looking like right now for the listeners?
Oh, it's boring. It's like brown with blue tips.
Blue tips? That's not boring. Cool. So that's how you're so beautiful. You keep your hair blue and updated.
I try to change my hair as much as possible so nobody notices anything else about me.
Like, oh yeah, it's the blue hair now. All right, cool.
The hair. Yeah.
Just gives coworkers something easy to comment on.
Exactly.
That's
an easy
nice.
focus.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Rads, for the lovely question. And the next question comes to us from Steve versus Ninjas at Steve versus Ninjas. And he asks, what inspires your jokes? Or if you have a particular joke that has a good origin story, tell us.
I just really like random thoughts and conversations just like everybody else, really. I'm not great at sitting down and being like, sometimes I'll use, like when I was trying to write jokes a lot, like put them out. Like, I would try to use a word generator. Sometimes just try to like jar random pairings of ideas in there together. But really, it's usually just a bizarre image that pops into my head.
Just something that you think of on the fly, or you'll be walking past a fire hydrant and you're like, oh, fire hydrant.
Yeah, or like when you're in so a lot of times when you're in a big group and you're all kind of like, there's so many really ridiculously funny, smart people on our little corner of that website that when you're interacting with people in a big group, particularly bouncing ideas off of everybody, you just kind of come up with weird, funny ideas that you wouldn't otherwise.
Yeah, shout out to all the group DMs out there, riffing, having a great time behind the scenes of Twitter.com. So thank you very much for that question, Steve. And be sure to check out his episode of the pod. All right, next question comes to us from our favorite anagrammer, Thomas Brendel at the Solemn Bard. And he has anagrammed your name, I am SpaceGirl, into Magical Spire.
Wow, I really like that.
It's a good anagram, Thomas.
Ooh.
All right, and his question related to that is, if you're an enchanted tower rising above some strange and distant world, perilous to reach and whispered in legends, what is at the top of you?
I'm the tower?
Yeah, you're a magical spire.
I think that my head should still be at the top. Regular sized, just like up at the top of the building. Like that would be.
So it's just a regular tower. It's magical,
yeah,
but then the top of the tower, instead of where it would be like a roof, it's just like your head.
My head.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, it's your answer.
I would have the best view of that whole weird place.
Yep, the whole distant world, strange and distant world.
That seems like the best place to be in a strange and distant world. Up high.
Look at that view.
Tactical advantage point. Yeah. There you go.
All right. Well, thank you very much.
Weird tower with a head. That's me.
Thank you, Thomas.
Thank you.
And we got a couple more questions here. And this next question comes to us from Joel Crass at Joel Crass. And he asks, if I hopscotch, did I jump back? Jump jack.
What?
Okay. The question is, if I hopscotch, did I jump jack?
Oh, I don't.
Is that a thing? Or do you know?
No, they're different games. So I don't know. No.
So the answer is no. Thank you very much, Joel. The next question comes to us from Shug_Knight.
Yay.
Allison, friend of the show, one of the best. And she asks, can I meet your dogs?
Oh, gosh, I hope so. That would be great. She loves my one dog in particular, May. She would love to meet you, Shug.
Oh, that would be an amazing meeting. We'd all love to see it.
Maybe someday.
Yeah, Allison's the best. Everyone should definitely go check out her episode. It was a lot of fun. It was so much fun talking to her. And check out her podcast about crime.
She is super interesting. I really like her.
And you got to be following Shug_Knight. Thank you again, Allison, for a great question. And now the final question coming to us from Tom. I'm talking at Trojan Sauce.
No.
All right. And he says, hi, guys. Long time reader. First time commenter. Fuck, marry, kill. Jareth, Hoggle, Didymus.
Oh, no.
I don't know what any of those names are.
Oh my gosh, they're 3 characters from The Labyrinth.
The Lab. Oh, okay, got it. Yeah, I was never into that film particularly. I should add it to my queue. Big Bowie fan.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is a tough FMK.
It is. I have questions. I mean, like, I'm wondering if you marry one of them, do you have, like, bedding rights then indefinitely? Or if it's like a sterile marriage?
I think that's up to you. You can interpret it however you like.
Oh man. I feel like I should kill Jareth because he's the bad guy, but I'm not going to.
Oh, okay.
I think that I would marry Jareth, assuming that I had bedding rights for the rest of however long.
Bedding rights.
He killed me or turned me into a goblin or whatever.
Okay.
And then I think I would kill Didymus, but only because he is the only one that I think would be okay with it. He's like a little night guy, and I think he would just lay down his life if he knew that it would be for the good of all.
Yeah.
So him slain in glorious battle with me. And then I just throw Hoggle a bone because he really deserves it. He's kind of a little goblin.
Throw Hoggle a bone.
He's a good dude.
Very good. All right. Now, Tom's second question.
Oh, God.
Would you rather never eat Wawa again or drink a milkshake made of mustard?
Oh, bring on that mustard milkshake.
Slurping it up.
Give up Wawa. That's not going to happen.
You could never give up Wawa, and you are a fan of mustard the way that like you got mustard to destroy ketchup in that battle earlier.
Feisty mustard. Oh, yes. I am all about it. Just bring it. Yeah. If I can have a Wawa hoagie after.
And you get that mustard milk mustache.
Yes, that's horrible. Oh. That's like weirdly more appealing to me than a milk mustache, though.
The mustard mustache?
Yeah.
A
mustard
mustache. It's just a mustache. It's just a regular mustache.
Only we know its secret meaning.
All right, and the final question coming to us from Tom and for the show today. Thank you to everyone who has sent in a question at FOTS Pod. I really appreciate it. The final question from Tom. Which of your kids is your favorite and why?
It's ridiculous. I love all of my children equally, Tom.
I don't think that's the question.
None of them are my favorite. They're all my favorite.
Oh, diplomatic as ever. Thank you so much. We made it through all the questions, and we've made it to the end of the episode. Thank you so much for joining me this week. It's been a real pleasure. Truly one of the best online, and I know you're not around that much, but whenever you are, it's great to see you online. One of the nicest people, and thank you so much for joining me this week. And now, if there's nothing else, we will wrap up and say our goodbyes as I play the theme.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for waking me up from the nap.
Yes.
And I wish all the best for you and your cats and your fam.
And
I'll
you too.
See you online.
Be around.
Well, that's it. I hope you enjoyed this week's episode of Sky. So many laughs and so much fun and meow. And although she isn't always there, you can still always find her jokes on Twitter at I am SpaceGirl. And be sure to follow at FOTS Pod and also send a question for future guests. I am on Twitter at SkinnerSteven. You can visit www.stevenwskinner.com for all the old episodes. And you can visit Apple Podcasts and subscribe and leave a rating and review, even if you think it sucks. But thank you to Ruby Coast for the music, and thanks to Kyla Davidson for the theme, and thanks to you so very much for listening. I am Stephen W. Skinner. Have a great one.